So if you're playing like back row, number 11,
You get number 11.
so then, but then if you don't play one week, did the other person have to use your jersey?
You're my jersey.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Far out. That's crazy, isn't it?
Mate, that the fucking budgets at the clubs would go panicking if they do the player name because obviously you can't change them.
Yeah, right.
Well, mate, Jeff Carr was the CEO. We played Wes at the SCG in a grand final replay sort of game, the 1964, the famous Arthur Summons and Norm Proven game. So we're playing West, so we went and got a photo, and myself and Cheriarko Mesha, he was the hooker for that, so we got the photo trying to replicate it. We play, St. George had the V. St. George never changed their jersey, but they had a different jersey, but West wore this, they used to have the V, they wore this bandage jersey, what they wore in the grand final. Langmack, I went, so Langmack was playing, I said, oh, you want to swap? He goes, yeah, no problem, mate, love to. I go back in the dressing room, the CEO's going off his nut. That's a jersey, and I got man of the match. I said, there's $1,000, buy a whole new fucking set.
Wow.
I said, buy a whole new fucking set. He goes, a new set's $600. I said, buy a new set. Everybody go swap your jerseys.
Wow.
And then the club just looked at me like I'm young, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, and I wasn't I wasn't above myself, but I'm like, I've played fucking 3 years for you, 4 years, but you couldn't even swap a jersey. So you know
One
now,
jersey, that's
so you know a
wild.
player can go and give their kid away, mate. And in Broncos jersey, I probably have say 30 of them.
Yeah.
Right? St. George, I got 2.
Yeah, right.
All right, we'll kick things off officially then. As you no doubt know, we're joined as always by Charlie White. I'm the host, James Graham. We've got Gordon Tallis
How you going,
back
Jimmy?
in. I'm going okay. Look, it was a bit of a deflating Sunday, and we'll get to some of the commentary around my commentary in just a moment.
I just bottled it up.
But before we do get started, I would like to say, for those of you in Brisbane, those listening in Brisbane, Thursday, the 9th of October, Stepping Stone at the Rivershed Howard Smith Wharfs. Yes. Big fundraising night all around mental health. You can get your tickets at steppingstoneclubhouse.org.au.
Go down there. It's a great venue. So they got they got the brewery, pizzas or whatever. But it should be
That
great.
Fallon's Brewery, isn't it?
But yeah, Fallon's Brewery, a couple of really good restaurants along there. So go from lunch straight into the night.
Where should we start? Should we start with the little article that's popped up?
We could start with that. For context, obviously, you were calling the games. If anyone hasn't seen this, you were doing the Dogs game on Sunday afternoon. First play of the game, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
First set for the Panthers.
Kick out charges the ball down.
Yeah.
If he grabs that ball, maybe he scores a try. Dylan Edwards pulls him back. It's penalty Bulldogs, but no sin bin, obviously, for Dylan Edwards, which infuriated the Bulldogs fan, James Graham.
I think it infuriated everyone.
Yeah.
For me, Viliami Kikau was denied a try-scoring opportunity. And when you're denied a try-scoring opportunity, that is a professional foul. When you commit a professional foul, you are sent for 10 minutes in the sin bin.
And you called Ashley Klein a bottleless git, which for anyone who's not English, very common English saying. But then a journo has clipped
I
it
got
up.
that every time I played there.
Did you?
I got worse. I got a lot worse from the English. Their language is like they speak Queen's English.
Yes.
But it's
Well, also the phrase like to bottle it. It's an English phrase, but basically means you
put a lid on it.
It means you sit on the fence. You're scared to make a call. Like a big call needs to be made, and to bottle it. Someone could say the Bulldogs, they bottled it, like they didn't stand up to the occasion of Penrith, not showing up to the occasion, not putting your best foot forward, not making the calls, doing the things that need to be done.
Not doing your job. Basically.
Yeah. Like, and also to give this extra context, anybody who's been around rugby league surely has seen Mick Morgan, the Castleford-based commentator, commentating on Castleford v Wigan. I think it's a game from the early 90s where he calls Campbell, who's the referee, a bottleless get because he goes, if you've got any bottle, you'll walk him, Campbell. And he gives him a yell. He's like, I can't speak. We all can't speak. So it's like this it's this famous or infamous rugby league commentary.
Like someone stop him, he'll run out of the stadium. He's a
like,
lunatic or whatever it is.
It's obviously a very biased call. Mick Morgan is a Cass fan going up again, and that's what he's known for.
Was that the one when he yells out, "Send him off"?
Yeah, get him off the field.
Yeah,
get him off the field.
Yeah, right. I've seen that.
And then when Lee Crooks
just didn't understand it.
Yeah,
was that in English?
Yeah, it was. And Lee Crooks goes through and says, "Oh, Steam Pig, he's the best prop in the world. Never mind anybody else. Shove it up yours." Like he's, and look, part of our role as commentators, are we unbiased? We're supposed to be. Does the emotion of any occasion get to us at times? Yes, like often.
But I love that call on that with you yesterday, right? So if you want us to be passionate, right, you got to be passionate, right? So I'd rather work with you, and I saw you with the Bulldogs fans. I saw how much it meant to you. I saw the lead up to it, and you called it as a fan. So the 100,000 Bulldogs fans that were, that got behind them this year, and there was, 50-odd thousand, they would have loved that moment. And the Penrith fans, the 20-odd thousand, probably wouldn't have liked the moment. So you got to go with your fans, and that's what you did. You sat there, and it's hard to do it, and that's where people don't understand. Like, if I'm doing that for Queensland, when we played against New South Wales in Melbourne, I lost it. Like, we got blown off the park. I'm sitting there. I'm feeling worse than the fans. You can't take that out of someone if you're passionate and rusted on.
Cam Smith on his 9 coverage, I've heard him say, like, referring to Ben Hunt by his nickname, "Go Dozer, go Dozer." Like, that's the passionate fan. Now, because this incident is about a referee, I stand by what I said, because if Liam Martin did the same thing and charges the kick down and Connor Tracy pulls him back, I would say Ashley Kine bottled it. Like, take away the blue and white and the black and gold jerseys. I thought that decision was what you could describe as, from an English point of view, bottling it or too nervous to make the call. I think the fact that it was early in the game, Ashley Klein didn't know what to do. And I say this because, and look, did it have an outcome did it change the game? I think Penrith probably still win anyway. But obviously the open exchanges look very different. But I felt as if that call were, if Dylan Edwards is sent for 10 minutes to the bin, right?
Yep.
And whatever happens in the game, let's fast forward to the coach's press conference. Ivan Cleary would have been asked, "What do you think about the sin binning?" I firmly believe he would have said it was acceptable. And I think every Penrith fan, had Dylan Edwards been sent to the sin bin, I think they would have accepted that call.
Well, when you look at the week before, someone got sent to the sin bin for celebrating. So, what I mean? So in that moment, right? So I got told the other week is referees make the correct decision or the right decision. And you think about that, right? So they can referee to the rule book, and that's the correct decision, or they make the right. So did Klein yesterday make the right decision? For Penrith, he probably did. But did he make the correct decision when it goes down to the book? So that's the part that you want to give the referee when they sense that moment, that they know what the right decision is for that game, for that player. He's been on the wind or whatever. So it is a tough job, but making the correct decision and the right decision.
Yeah. And look, again, I think Klein got it wrong. And I feel that was more towards him not wanting to upset the contest, put the spotlight on him in the open exchanges, because it's, I mean, there's big calls that get made in the last 10 minutes where referees are under immense pressure and they know that it's going to be scrutinised. Maybe there's a lack of scrutiny because the score blew out, but I still feel it was the wrong call. And maybe the way I mean, this person who's come out and put the whole transcript up and sort of suggested that I'm in the wrong and we've got a code of conduct to adhere to, which we do. But I don't think anyone's immune.
But it's sort of misquoted because it said, "Oh, mate, we'll get kicked off air," because I did that. But I was thinking, if we keep on going and we swear
Yeah.
because of the I wasn't talking about that. So he's put it in. They go, oh, we're going to take it off air.
And also, you were joking as
and
well.
it put me under the cosh.
Yeah.
Mate, and you put me under the cosh. I don't want to be in your article. I've got enough guys coming from me, right?
Well,
I'm in everybody's article now.
But also, this isn't the first time that I've been critical of referees in my commentary. There was a time there where I think Harry Grant got penalised for something, and I was just like, "This, I don't like it."
Yeah, it's a slow news day. He's got to fill his column.
Yeah.
He's finding something to.
Did you
put
see
in
me
his
last
thing.
week with the Starling, the second play of the game?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we get a preconceived idea on how we think it should be running and what's going to happen, and when it goes against you, and it didn't, I just wanted to go there because my belief is the players will work it out. They've worked it out for 100 years. They can keep on working out. Just stay out of their road.
Yeah,
and make sure that it's fair.
And also, Gordie, you and I were both, I guess, critical of the fact that the referee from that Broncos Canberra game was given the pass mark. That's
what I did on
yeah. Well, that's where that came out, isn't
when
it?
they went, because they go, the NRL pass went.
Yeah.
And then, because it was on Buzz, and Buzz probably can do that.
It was the perfect time for the camera because the camera's on Buzz and reading, and then Brace like, "Oh, did you fart?"
Yeah, and Brace knew what I did. He just went, "Oh, did you let one go?"
Well,
But anyway.
let's look. The referees, incredibly difficult job.
They do an amazing job.
Respect
by the way.
what they do.
They do an amazing job.
I'm not putting my hand up in any way, shape, or form to do what they do. I don't envy it in any way. I've got no aspirations to do it. I have fundamentally respect for the referees. Now, people could argue and point to different incidences, but I do genuinely have respect for all the match officials that step into that arena. But that does not mean they're immune from criticism. Just like the man who has wrote the article about me, I'm not immune from criticism about my commentary, my style, or any people that want to comment underneath and say James Graham shouldn't be doing Bulldogs games, or maybe he needs to be spoken to by the NRL. I'm not immune from criticism. Nobody is, and neither are the match officials. If I feel in my commentary it is part of my duty as a commentator to inform the audience of what my opinion is on all encompassing things within the game and that happen in the 80 minutes of a game of football. So
personally, I loved it. Sitting there in the commentary box, it was fantastic. It was great vision.
It was so good. It got me up. Awesome. I said, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know where you're going, but it's good.
Yeah, I loved it. The obviously it wasn't the reason that.
But he put us all under the cosh.
He did. He did.
We're under the cosh. There's another example of a British phrase that I said at Triple M, and you guys are like, what does under the cosh mean? It's like, well, I guess it's kind of hard to explain. But I mean,
under pressure.
And even to be, sorry, just quickly, just on being called a git, it is like, I guess it's a bit of a dad thing to say. Like it's deemed as a safe word. And even it's funny how different words can be. Like a bastard over here is like a bit play on radio. We're back in England. Ooh,
bad word.
Bad.
A git's like a twat, isn't it?
Oh,
like,
no.
So it's a twat worse.
Way worse.
I feel like a twat's nothing.
No, mate, stop saying that word.
That's the worst thing you can say.
That's like just below the C word.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the C word's a really big deal in England, but not a big deal here.
Yeah.
Because we didn't. I was in England, and we were out having drinks, me and my friends, with these English people, and one of my friends. Really, I shouldn't have said it then, but it really offended those people.
Yeah.
They were like shocked.
You just said pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to.
Well, yeah. Can we beep that out? Git in England is a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
A bit like a numpty.
Numpty, yeah.
Yeah. Like that, yeah.
The thing is, though, obviously you don't think the referees impacted this result at all. So, like, the Panthers would have won comfortably regardless.
I feel so, the way that they were playing. But, I mean, to lose Dylan Edwards from minute 2 to minute 12 would impact the Panthers, no doubt. It would have
absolutely.
impacted,
Well, it takes energy out of you.
Yeah.
So, like, you reshuffle your back line. There's people defending probably a little bit out of space with what they would have And you do train for that, and I'm sure. But, you don't know. But,
Well, if
I think the way the scoreline finished, Penrith going like 20 from 20 at halftime.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were phenomenal. And really, there's where the attention should be. The brilliance of Penrith in those opening 40 minutes, like pretty much the perfect 40 minutes of football.
Yeah, you reckon it's the best 40 minutes we've seen this year?
Definitely this year. Definitely this year. It beats the Broncos round 1, 40 minutes against the Roosters.
Yeah, but it's where those two sides, like it's round 1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's round 1, and
the context
when they come back to training, they can be 3 or 4 weeks after that, so they're behind. But when you get to a semi-final, it's totally different.
The context of the game, everything on the line, the adjustment from the Panthers. So, look, the Bulldogs are, I think, statistically the best, or if not one of the best defensive sides in the comp. We see them, control the ruck well, make excellent reads on an edge, and obviously it's the teacher v the student. So they both know each other's games, systems, qualities, strengths, weaknesses inside out. And for me, it was too convenient, the fact that the Panthers was stripping the Dogs almost every time they moved the ball to the edge. Don't get me wrong, the level of execution, that play where there's a bounce pass, Cleary gets it to Lindsay Smith, front row, bang, over to Sorensen over to McLean over to Toto. The interchange of passing on last play between Lindsay Smith and Liam and Sorensen was sublime. But it makes me wonder, just did the Panthers have a slight tweak and adjustment to their attacking starting positions in order to combat where the Dogs were?
Well,
or did
up
the
and
Dogs
in
just
defense, right? So the Dogs were up and in. That's when they were at their best, when they were beating sides up in the 90s. They were up and in, cutting down your time and space, right? So everybody defended different, but the Dogs used to do that. I think they did. I think the Panthers, to adjust on the run and just hold their speed back. 'Cause normally you go at speed, hold your speed back and just stand and pass. So that means they got to go that one step further, which gives you the time and space. And you watch it all the time and you just tell the guys, get back deeper or just ease your speed off. But it's hard because you want to get there and you run at that speed to break down sliding defence, and then they wedge, and that's where the Dogs, I think, have surprised. But Penrith yesterday, just to adjust on the run to whatever defence was against them.
I think Nathan Cleary, he doesn't need that game to cement himself as the game's most influential player, the player that's most likely to determine the result. But wow, he was good. And I think...
How many bricks? So if he was building, and Nathan Cleary's building a statue, how many bricks you reckon got added on? There was a few that got added yesterday, right?
There was. And
there's moments in that guy's life, and you just watch how clinical he is. He struggled with hip or groin injuries all year, and then...
Well, even the fact he was goal kicking. He hadn't been goal kicking, but then say, it's a big game, I'm goal kicking.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Look, we're not going to fast forward too far ahead, but when I think that's why they're favourites. The number 7 position for the 4 sides left in the comp, you've got the Cronulla Sharks, and Hines, he was great on the weekend, but there's still a level of question marks there. The Broncos, Reynolds, is he back? Is he fully fit? I mean, I think he will play in the 7th, but there's a big question mark around him. The Storm, Jerome Hughes, won't he play? Jonah Pezzett, he was fantastic against the Dogs in the first game, but there's still some question marks around him.
You don't think Hughes can come back with a broken wrist?
Apparently he is. Apparently he's good to go. Munster spoke today and he basically said that he's passed all the tests and he's looking like he's going to play. Pappenhausen's obviously back for them as well.
So what's that, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Or nearly 3. That's Shane Webke.
Yeah.
I think Shane Webke in the 2000 when he broke it, I think, against the Dragons, Luke Bailey. Then Wayne said, no, you got to play against Parramatta. You're not playing in the grand final. Must be a similar.
Yeah.
And Craig Bellamy would have been with us then in Brisbane. So that's the situation, right? So they'd see a specialist. It does heal, like fast healers, but whether it's set in concrete, and then the 6 weeks normally, 3 weeks it's probably set, but What does he do? Does he get a great cast on it? Does that affect his passing?
I think
confidence.
There's a difference between playing front row Shane Webke and playing in the halves. So, and also, I don't even think it's necessarily the wrist or forearm that's the bigger problem. I still think it's the shoulder, and that's what caused the injury. He was changing his tackle technique. Coach Bellamy spoke after that game and sort of questioned the fitness test, the return to play, because it was clear from the opening exchanges that he was changing how he tackled. So whatever that return to play test is, I mean, he can't change his...
who you are. I don't think he was tackling Nelson or Sofa Solomona.
Well,
there's a test. And then there's a test on tackling a center
they moved Payne Haas over to him in that round 26 round 27 game, and they got Payne Haas on some wider carries to go at Jerome Hughes to test the shoulder. So he was trying his best. God love him, but I don't know. But just anyway, just back to the sevens. Like, Cleary is by far and away the best, the healthiest, the most informed seven of them all. Like, and I think that's what propels Penrith to...
He's got more moments than
hasn't
he? He wins more moments. His kicking game's sublime. His goal kicking, his game management, or what? Just getting his team to where, like, his ability to go down, what does my team need me to do now, and execute it on the run, whether it's a kick, a pass. Like, then there was that moment yesterday, he gets it there short. He's so good at kicking. He puts it on the spot, but he went through the hands.
Yeah.
So that moment, his thought process, the speed that he comes up with it, and the adjustments that he can make on the run. Not saying the other guys aren't that good, but he's just the notch above.
Sorry, I was going to say, Gordie, I said in the commentary it felt like the game was done after about 35 minutes. The Panthers scored. Yeah. Obviously, half time comes around, and then the first 10 minutes of that second half was, the intensity had dropped off, and then the Bulldogs got some joy when they went to the right hand side. And I listened to Coach Geraldo's comments after the game, and he said, "Oh, it was great. Our right hand side didn't give up, and our team didn't give up." Yeah. But he recognised that Penrith had sort of gone into almost self-preservation mode.
I think they did. What was it? Three tries to 2 in the second half, right? Jordan Ricky and Katoni Staggs are on that side for the Broncos next week, so they would think that they're going to get some joy, but they got it late. There was one where I think McLean just balks a bit.
Yeah.
So they'll work on it. That's easier to fix than getting around them, So, but they're coming up against probably better combinations next Sunday. But, the Dogs, do you know what? If I'm a Dogs fan and I watch how my season's gone and then I get to that and just sticking to the game plan, and that was a maturity thing, I think, for Galvin. And Sexton and all those Bulldogs guys, let's just stick to it and see where it gets us, because it didn't work in the first half because they had no football, right? They were under the cosh, and then in the second half it turned around a bit and they started getting a bit of footy and they had some success.
Yeah, they couldn't get out their own end in that first half. Penrith's, you made comment of it in the call that their line speed was through the roof, which it's a difficult task to overcome that. And then when the Dogs got a few penalties, they pushed some passes early in the tackle count. Yeah. The goal should have just been to get through this set and then let's get back into the cycle. I thought they went chasing they chased opportunities before they'd earned the right to
earned the right to play footy. Look, and I was talking to Dogs fans after, because we were sitting there and we were all getting out and there's a big crowd, and Dogs fans, what went wrong? I said, in the end, if you boil it down, you had no punch through the middle. You didn't win the collision. And in big games, you got to win the collision, and Penrith won the collision too. So we can talk about how good the outside backs, but if you don't win that collision, and they are a bit light on in the forward pack, right? That's why they're chasing, and next year Leo, and they've chased guys to come, and then if they get a bit more punch, a guy like Payne Haas does it, right? You get on the back foot, he goes bang through, and he just gets a quicker play of the ball, and they can change the momentum. Tony Stagg's been unbelievable. Like, Brisbane have been going to their outside backs to do it as well. But, the real good sides, they win the collision.
Yeah, and people like Payne Haas and Leo Thompson's, his role is to skittle defenders.
Yeah,
and
knock them out.
That's what the best ones do. Obviously, they get managed, but if you get skittled, like a bowling ball almost, and you knock a few pins over, they get on top of you, but they're disrupted. It's not as clean. It's not as technical.
Idea the confidence, right, that gives you.
Yeah.
As a back row, because but when Shane Webke, Petrol, Lazo, when they run and they move someone, you're like, I want to take the next one.
Yeah.
And when they run and you see the water go off Webby's head and he gets hit, I'm like, yours. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is. It's a little psychological warfare that you have when your front rower goes and he just bends the line. That's why Lenu, like the big thing, the kickoff run, because of the hype, it gives the fans, it gives everybody that energy, right? And that's what the Dogs probably lacked yesterday.
I've got to give a massive shout out to Lindsay Smith. When James Fisher-Harris left, that was one of the moves that Penrith didn't account for and didn't have plans for. I think the way he's progressed, obviously he got that test jersey at the back end of last year. I think his back half of the season has been sensational. Papali'i off the bench as well, sensational. Liam Henry off the bench. Moses Leota, I mean, what you see is what you get. He looked like he dialed things up a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
And look, the Panthers now, after being at the foot of the ladder, you know, and I was saying this in the call, you can almost feel the ghosts of 23 sort of get ready to scan their boarding pass. And they were scanning their boarding pass on Sunday because you know that the Broncos are sat at home and the ghosts go there and they just go, dink. And you can tell Reece Walsh,
look,
Carrigan,
they might be over it because of the stadium that they played at. Remember I said yesterday, if they dropped that stadium, then they would sell it out, right? Because it's such a big clash. They would sell it out. That's where the ghosts are. The ghosts aren't up at Suncorp.
You don't reckon they've got their boarding passes?
Mate, they're all Queensland ghosts up there, just to let you know.
It was like deja vu, PTSD, whatever you want to call it, though. Being at a core stadium, packed house, Moses Leota's killing it. Nathan Cleary's unbelievable. It was like brought so many memories back from the last few years of Prelim Finals, Grand Finals, and Penrith just
Mitch
dominating there.
Just playing at the back.
It just felt like the Penrith Panthers evolved that game. And being in a packed house in that environment, you just know they've got that level to go to.
Gordie, I think I know what your answer's going to be. If you've been beaten by a side like that, are you looking for revenge? Is this the path you want? You don't want someone else to do your dirty work and knock the Panthers. You want to take it.
Brisbane will look up to it. Obviously, Melbourne's always.
But what would you want to do if you?
Mate, you'd
want to beat Penrith.
Yeah, well, they're the champs, right?
Yeah.
So, to be the champs, you got to beat the champ, right? That's a boxing saying. But if you want to do that, Penrith, what they've done, arguably they were 3 minutes off it or 5 minutes off it, in 23. And the squad's improved. The squad's got better, right? So with Ben Hunt coming in, with the experience of Reece Walsh, so you just see, just everybody playing more games and maturing a lot more. I thought they were a really young side. Maybe they got there before they'd, really deserved it, but you deserve what you get because they worked really hard to get there. Well, they had injuries last year, but they're all back. And you just think that their confidence, that hangover is with this team.
What's it like as a player if you have, say, 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out? Like Ezra Mam has been out for a while, Adam Realm's been out for a while, and they're coming back this first game. Like, does it just click straight away?
You want to have done the work. You want to have done the kilometres, and they couldn't because they had hamstrings.
Yeah.
And then to press the go button under fatigue, like we watch. So what was it? They had 75% of the territory too yesterday. So fatigue is you're always running behind. Like when you play against like the great halfbacks, they turn a poor set into a great set, and Nathan Cleary was doing that yesterday. And then if you're there and you just keep on looking back and he's kicking 40-20s and you just keep – and Reece Walsh did it too, right? So you watch Canberra in that last 25 minutes. So both teams have it, but when you go and set for set and fatigue, and that's what I'm talking about. So when fatigue comes in, it makes cowards of everybody. And then you got these two guys coming in underdone. And that there is – It's in the back of your mind.
And then Hunt pushes to hooker as well, so then he's playing a different position that he's been playing the last few weeks.
And then they run at him, then he takes more petrol because he's not used to defending in the middle. So they're just little question marks. They might answer everything, every single one of them. Like they might have worked really hard. They probably could have played last week, or they were going to play against Canberra, but this side's been winning. Let's give them one because we got another chance. They got another week. They could be flying. Like they could have the kilometres in their legs and they're ready to go. But you'll find out next Sunday.
What I'm interested to see is, I think, look, people have talked about Walsh and Hunt, and they're right. Yep. But I think Walters has been a perfect tempo player in that 6 jersey. Ezra Mam is a different style of player. He's fast. He's energetic. He's more of a runner, where Walters disguises a lot of his moves. He plays with tempo. He has this strange ability to manipulate defenders, which you kind of watch and you just sort of memorizes them, where they turn slightly in and then he gets Walsh away. I think he's going to be missed more than the average punter realizes, because he's not the star name. He's not the sexy name of a Mam or a Walsh or a Reynolds or a Hunt, but
they were so happy that they'll get an early ball. So it come out, and then Katoni Stokes said, "Mate, I've been asking them, just give it to me," and then it just proves, you can't. Sometimes you don't overthink it. You know, Andrew John says it every time on the commentary. They had Latrell and they had like Crichton. Just give them early ball and see where they get to. They're as good as front rowers coming out of there, and then you spread their defence. So Reynolds coming back, I think he's smart enough. And as reports as he's going to come, he should be smart enough to sit there and watch the way Ben Hunt's played the last month.
Carrigan's out as well, though.
Yeah, Carrigan suspended. Willison likely back, according to a few sources up there.
I actually think Penrith might pump the Broncos, if I'm being honest. I think Penrith are just going to be at a different level. I've got a feeling that they're at a different level now. They're back. They're back to their best and they're ready. And the Broncos are like an elite team. They sort of snuck into the top 4 and then.
But did you watch them play the best side in the competition?
Well, was Canberra the best side of the competition? That
was a high quality game of footy.
Yeah,
that was a really high quality game of footy.
It was.
It's Gordie. You use the phrase a lot around moments. I think this is got to be the game of Reece Walsh's life, and I include he's got to go past what he did a couple of Sundays ago. I think Brisbane need to play their absolute best that they've done all year. I really
the challenge
do.
for them is watching the Dogs yesterday with their go forward, how they get out.
They've obviously got Haas to help them out.
Payne, but there's one now, and he's that ankle injury. He hobbled around. No, seriously. And then I thought, I don't know what happened there. You know, whether it was just a knock or what, but it was the fastest recovery that I've ever seen. So how that's dealt with, he's had back injury. So if Payne's fully fit, and I said it 12 weeks ago, for Brisbane to win, Payne has to be fully fit and 100% because of what he can do.
Yeah.
So hopefully he is that. And with no Carrigan, he has to be, well, you can't be 200%, but he's got to be at his best. Payne has to, like you say, Reece Walsh, I think Payne has to have the game of his life. And he's up against the guys that don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Leota just sat there. Because I remember the 23 grand final, Carrigan comes out to lift.
Yes.
And he got sat. And I'm like, there's that moment. So our leader just got put back and you go, oh, God, it's a tough day. You just think it's a tough day at the office. Now.
Yeah.
Well, that promises... Sorry, Charlie.
No, you go, mate, you go.
I was going to say that promises to be a great game. Look, Sunday didn't go as planned for the Bulldogs. And to be honest, mate, the players, they were cutting up our racetrack.
They were destroying the media sprint home, the home of the race that's going to stop the Rugby League Nation, Accor Stadium. Brent Reid, I'll tell you what, he was also cutting it up. He was doing little sprints up and down the sideline. I thought that was...
He sort of run around and the security got, who's that homeless guy out there running around?
Security actually...
Yeah, so Reedy goes out, for those listeners.
Shepherd's hook.
And he just starts running around in circles, pretending to warm up with the microphone. And he had the lean too. I'm thinking, it's a straight line race.
Yeah, I was going to point that out to him. Unless he thinks they're going to bring back the athletics track at Acre Stadium.
He thinks it's a 400.
Yeah,
He's
proper.
No, Buzz ain't making 400.
No, well, Buzz ain't making 40 because we're probably going to put him on the 30-metre line. He's only going to run 30 metres if he can run. But
listen. I'm going to give you something about Buzz.
Yep.
He's the favourite.
You reckon? 30, if he's got 30 metres to go?
Favourite.
Okay. We will sort the handicap soon, exactly where everyone is. But we have signed Dan Ganane as our play-by-play commentator.
Is he?
On a one-race deal.
Yeah, one-race deal.
It's a very exciting. And Eddie Simpson as well from the Hello Sport podcast is jumping on as his co-commentator, doing a bit of colour there.
Bruce Ganane or Dan.
Yeah. This could be Dan's sort of audition for the Olympics, maybe. The Olympics down the track. You don't know. Bruce is getting on. Bruce McAvaney, he's maybe got one Olympics left.
Dan McAvaney.
I could see Dan Ganane calling swimming. I could see
Carl Lewis.
Like Ray Warren, Rabs used to do the swimming. I can see Dan Ganane doing swimming, the 100-metre sprint.
And look, all this talk about gout. Well, we've got sauce. We've got.
Do you have gout?
Red wine and steak will do it to you.
Buzz might have gout.
He might have gout. Yeah. I tried to get Nathan.
Right, so Reedy, Buzz, Dave Riccio.
Riccio, yeah.
Chamas, Michael Chamas is in. Emma Lawrence, myself, Josh Mansour.
Yep.
And then
I think that's 8. I think you just named them all. Tom Birmingham from
Hello Sport.
Right.
Tommy Birmingham's called out David Riccio pretty aggressively as well.
Tommy has.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he said he'll get a tattoo of Dave Riccio's face on him if Dave can beat him.
Tom's got a bit of weight to carry. I love Tom,
Riccio,
mate. And what a great podcast I got too, by the way. But Tom's a big guy. Like it's 100.
He's a big unit.
Yeah, like about 60. You're going to start feeling it, Tommy boy.
Yeah.
Look, obviously this competition as well. There's some personal and big rivalries going on. Like I think.
So Sauce is obviously on 100.
Yeah, but there's.
What are you on?
I'm hoping. I'm thinking I should be on the 25 because if Josh Mansour is chasing me down to stop a try, and I get the ball on the 75 meter, you'd hope he'd catch me, right?
Yeah.
Should I run you through what I've got as the handicap so far?
Right.
So we've obviously got Sauce running 100 metres.
Yep.
Currently, I've got James Graham 15 metres out. So he's at the 85-metre line.
That is...
But he's furious about it, so we might change that. But also, I don't know. We'll see how we go with that. Then I've got Brent Reid and Michael Chamas on the 75-metre mark.
See, for me, this is where the subplots, like the game within the game, those two against each other. Big rivals. The Herald against the Telegraph. Yeah. 360 against 100% football. Like, that is Brent Reid, Chamas.
I think Reid, watching himself yesterday, how much he likes himself, Reedy, right? Like Millhouse, right? So he's going to take those glasses off. So you know how people put the glasses, he's going to take them off and he's going to turn into something.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
You reckon that's what I feel when the glasses come off?
That's what I feel. But don't forget, right? He played, well, this is what he tells me. I'm not quite sure. But he played soccer at a high level.
Yeah, Brisbane United.
Yeah, I know. The Strikers.
Or whatever they're called, yeah.
Yeah. So for you to play that, you've got to have a bit of speed soccer.
Yeah.
Mate,
none of them are slow. None of them are slow.
Ago.
Yeah,
I'll tell you something about
but don't forget you're a front row. So if you've had speed, you still have a bit, right?
Yeah, right, okay.
I'll tell you something.
Riccio, dark horse.
Riccio, see, apparently Riccio's got a bit of athleticism to him. So because Tom Birmingham and Eddie called him Unco. And at first glance, I would think Dave is a bit unco. Just looking at him, he's a bit sort of lanky and stuff. But the more you hear about him, there's some tales of speed around Dave.
Unco is one of my favourite Aussie phrases. Obviously, we spent a lot of the show talking about British phrases. One of my favourite Aussie phrases is, he's a little bit unco. It's like, only in Australia. I mean, you could argue you can only get away with that in Australia. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those phrases that... it's basically short for being uncoordinated. But I think it has an old... like a bit of
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Burmo and David Riccio are on the same line because Tom called out David Riccio. I thought they got to start together. 65-metre mark. Then Emma Lawrence, who...
65, no, because...
that means they got a 35-metre start and Sauce, 10 on Reedy and Chammy, and then 20 on Jimmy. I might bring Jimmy closer, though.
No, or Reedy. Reedy's got to come back a bit.
You reckon? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He needs to be on level pegging with Chamas. They have to start together.
Yeah, and then Chamas looks like he can handle himself a bit.
And Chamas is younger than Reedy as well. He's a bit younger.
Yeah, right.
10 years younger, I'd say, something like that.
And Buzz at the 50.
Buzz is at the 30-metre line.
No, Buzz at the 50.
You reckon? But
40.
No, I reckon, I'm with you on about the 30. You know, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, because he might not be able to run, Buzz. He might have to have a trot. Like, he might be walking. That's why, you know where I've got Emma Lawrence? The 50-metre mark.
I reckon she could be the secret.
But
Well, she runs. No,
she doesn't run. She hasn't run in like 6 years. And she's
That's
had
what
2
she's telling you.
Yeah, she could be buttering me up. She's had 2 hip reconstructions as well.
Like it's a bit like if I said I haven't trained in 20
minutes.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look, I've had my hip resurfaced. Like,
I know, but you're a professional athlete, Jimmy.
was not when I had the hip
So
resurfaced.
it's only media talent doing that, is it?
Yeah. Would you have any interest in racing? Because we get you in the
No, I'm
race.
not media talent.
But you're
I wouldn't put myself in that category.
well, you host NRL 360.
Braithen has to host 3.
Well, you got co-host NRL 360.
No, I just sit there,
You just sit.
pretty much.
Farting.
So you don't see yourself as a media
No,
personality?
definitely not.
Yeah.
I see myself as an ex-player, having a voice in the game.
Yeah.
I don't see myself.
Well,
You know, it's funny about like how people categorize it, because I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't.
Like,
even
are you in the media?
Yeah, I'm
And
like, no.
no.
But I guess
I just say no because they work really hard. They make a lot of fun. Like, you know,
Yeah.
whether they get it right, but then they're sitting there trying to find out. Like, there's something in the dark, and they got to find out what it is. And everybody's trying to hide what's in the dark. So it's hide and seek, and you're asking them, and they're saying, "I'm in that room or in here." So then, no, that's certainly not me. I don't trade on information.
No, and it's not just journos. I like Burmo's in there as a podcaster, Jimmy and Sauce in as podcaster. So, mate, there's room for a television expert commentator.
Oh, that's Ben Dobbin.
Yeah, no.
No, we don't want him breaking his neck again. It's around about the anniversary, mate. If you know, the stars could align and he goes down again.
Oh,
But I'm looking forward to that, Charlie. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Before we do the Hyundai Hybrid Hero, I just want to ask you boys about Reid Mahoney. Because Reid Mahoney, obviously, you guys interviewed on Triple M and he broke down in that
emotional, wasn't he? Yeah.
That was a great moment.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't forget, because sometimes I sit there and I feel it with him, but to hear him and what he's gone through, and he had to sit there and you just watched that. He was at Parramatta and for some reason, and then he was here and he felt like he's built it. And Jimmy, you gave him a huge rap, and I know that he would have appreciated it, but then he sat there and he felt, you know, like I love this club. Like in a short time, you know, being a dog, he was proud of it. And they're the moments, you know, that he just realised that was a really special part of his life and he was building something special. And, you know, he's got a new chapter and he'll go to North Queensland and that's where he's going, isn't it? And he'll love it up there.
Yeah. And look, I think I've got to give credit to Reid. Came to the club at a time when things were very tough, and talk about being in the trenches. And he stood up for himself. He stood up to his teammates. He punched above his weight. He went after the biggest, baddest, most aggressive opposite numbers. Like
he used to take Tino on.
Yeah,
he took Tino on a few times in that.
Yeah, like and that at a time when, you know, most people fold, he stood up each and every time. And look, for whatever reason, it's not worked out there where he's been given a new deal. He's gone with a year left on his contract, but I think you've got to give credit to people like him as laying a bit of a foundation. Sorry, not a bit, a lot of a foundation for where the Dogs could end up going. And it's a funny one, isn't it? Like, as fans of the sport, we get emotional when our team win or lose, and sport is the news. Sport is everything. It's unscripted reality TV. Yep. It's the absolute best. But when you're a player and you're in a club, it means a lot to you, and when that is no longer going to be, you know, and Reid will get over it, and he'll form new bonds. But
when he plays them next year,
when
he plays them next year, he'll be well over it. But it was just a moment yesterday. I think, you know, the occasion, they worked really hard, and you know, we got another call up, and he tried really hard, and you know, they were lacking in the middle, and you know, he tried to hold the fort up for as long as he can.
Well, he came and shot out of the line, didn't he? That's Reid Mahoney going punching above his weight. Yeah. Was it Papali'i maybe, or Lindsay Smith? And he's shot out the line, trying to put a shot on. The offload gets away, and they execute beautifully. But he's trying to do something for his team. Like, it didn't come off. But he's trying his best to make something happen, to change momentum, and he doesn't. The easy option there for a guy like Reid Mahoney is to just sit back and wait and absorb the defence. But he's actually trying to do something about it, which I think needs to be commended. It didn't come off, but you know, you can't knock his effort.
What's the expectation for the Dogs then next year? Is it to compete for the title? Is it, you know, to make the top 4?
I think it has to be to compete for the title. I think that was what they ended up doing this year. When I've looked at the Dogs' journey under Ciraldo specifically, is I think they're ahead of schedule. Like, when I didn't anticipate them making the finals last year, they did. And I think that there was a re-collaboration about what we expect. They went into the top 4 this year without being excellent, brilliant. You know, they weren't like they defensively performed well, but they were in the top 4 without doing too much. Yeah. If that makes sense.
They were super consistent.
Yeah, super consistent, but they weren't. You didn't watch them and think like, "What? Wow!" Like, defensively, you were like, "This is impressive," but you didn't watch them and think like, "Oh my goodness me!"
Hard working, grinding out, stay in the fight, get through their sets, make you work for your victory. That was the Dogs. Does that make you win grand finals? Well, it doesn't. But it's a great platform.
Exactly. And this is Ciraldo's 3rd year now. In each year, we've seen improvement. Obviously, the signing of Leo Thompson, that comes with a little bit of pressure, but I think that will not only help in the middle, just because of his potential, and it is potential. He's been good, but he's not been great. But I think it helps the likes of Max King. I think it helps the likes of Tupanua to play as a 2 or 3 front rower, not a 1 and 2. Yeah. I think there's a big difference between some teams, like, you know, when Brisbane were Flegler, Haas, Bang Bang, those 1 and 2, there's not much between them, and that obviously helps to have 2 like rep top line, top 2 of 5 best position front rowers. But I think where the Dogs are at is they need someone to be their absolute leader. And some players, with Max King, everything that he's been through, what a year playing State of Origin, I think he will suit being that second front rower to go, have Leo go and follow him. Yeah. That's just what I think. And that might be proved wrong. And Max King may even... Sometimes you see it where you play alongside these players and you actually overtake them. That might happen, but I think the addition of Leo Thompson will be really impactful.
When you get a halfback, and you know they're sort of always co-pilots because someone's got to. Yeah, he just needs a bigger body. Like yesterday, like he took it from the kickoff. Like he was running as hard as any. He put himself. He put himself in the frame. He put himself in the collision, but that's not his role. That's more. That's
if that's Leo Thompson taking that carry, and then King on play too. Yeah. And then Tupanua off the bench, or maybe they look to change up things with Salmon at lock. Yep. You don't know if they might go bigger bodies. Tupanua maybe at lock. We don't know. But I think the Dogs look to be very disappointed. They're not going to celebrate the season. There's plenty of room for improvement. And I think also, look, elephant in the room, Galvin coming in, I think a full off season and completely understanding where he plays and how he fits in is going to be really important for this side.
Yeah. Buzz wrote an article today about it was a season of implosion for the Dogs from within. And like, I mean, is it fair to say that the Galvin thing didn't work for this year anyway?
Well, who was their best player yesterday?
Tough question. Who do you reckon? Kickout maybe?
Tracy, Kickout, Preston, Galvin. Galvin was in there.
Yeah,
Galvin was in there. You know, but they were defending for a lot of it. You know? But like, I like the way Galvin didn't go away from me. He ended up throwing some really nice passes. They said they worked on it all week, so you should be good at it because you've worked really hard in those moments. But I thought Galvin, for a young kid with no momentum, hung in there.
Yeah.
Right? But when you look at the Dogs, like you did the three, like very few of them would have got points in probably the top 5 or 6 players. So, but he would have been in the Dogs' top 3 or 4 players for sure.
He did not stop trying, which is a great trait to have. And that's not saying that some of them don't possess the trait that maybe faded a little bit in that game. But I think when I look at the commentary, it was a decision that was made to help improve the attack. Stats could show that didn't work. I spoke about the Dogs at the start of the season. A lot of it was all on defensive grit, determination. I think their attack did need to improve. They needed to make that calculated decision. People will say, well, just park them in reserve grade. I understand that and wait till next year. But they obviously saw something there. And I've said this before, that I trust Cam Serraldo because he's earned that trust from me. And a lot of commentators, a lot of even ex-Bulldogs say, oh, well, you shouldn't have changed it. But I think, we'll maybe when we look ahead, whatever side Brisbane picked this week, people in the media are going to have different opinions because maybe, they'd see things differently. And maybe Maguire's not quite got that same level of trust for me that I'd feel open to maybe be critical. Maybe I'll agree with him. I don't know. I don't know what that side's going to look like. But for me, Cam Serraldo, he's earned my trust to back him all the way.
Yep.
Agreed.
Can't argue with it.
Yep. Hyundai Hybrid Hero. Jimmy, you've got one of these bad boys, the Kona. You've got it's a beautiful vehicle.
Not
downstairs.
the Kona, no, the Tucson.
The Tucson, my bad. It's an incredible car.
It is beautiful.
Yep. If you've ever thought about going hybrid, Jimmy, now you can check out the hybrid SUV range by Hyundai today. I didn't give you any heads up about this, Gordie, so you might not have a Hyundai Hybrid Hero.
I did.
Okay, hit me with it.
No. Oh, sorry. No, I thought I was talking about the cars.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. No, mate, I did have a hybrid at one stage.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're good vehicles.
They're very good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go for my Hyundai Hybrid Hero. Yeah. And it's Sharks edge back rower Billy Burns. So, big call from Fitzgibbon to not put Britton Nickera in. Billy Burns, known as a defensive, hard-working edge back rower, but he turns up in attack as well on this occasion. And for me, Nickera is one of my favourite edge back rowers to watch, especially when he runs that line. He plays above his weight. We see the likes of Kickout Martin, Hudson Young. Like, these are some premier back rowers in our comp. But Nickera, for the size of him, he accelerates into the line. He plays so brave. Obviously, he was suspended. Billy Burns comes in, and he's earned that trust. And I just think both sides of the ball, he was exceptional. So that's why he's my Hyundai Hybrid Hero.
I'll give Hudson Young a little bit of a rap. He's the only Raider that turned back up after that 90 minutes. He was out. He still played at the same level he did the week before. I might go Mitch Kenny because he's so underrated with the line speed and defence. Defence is 50% of the game. And I know Cleary's going to get all the raps and he can be everybody else's. But, when you look at a guy that like line speed was like Penrith went up the next gear, and I think it's like he's the captain of the defensive line, and I thought he was outstanding yesterday.
There's some gun hookers going around at the moment. Like, it's going to be hard for you guys for Kangaroos. Obviously, Harry Grant probably has to get picked. But then you obviously take another
Brayley's
hooker.
been outstanding, and Buzz, I know that he had all the stats yesterday, and they're neck and neck. And I think Brayley will be the Dally M because Harry can't get it. But
can Starling, Matt? I think Starling's start to the year and finish as being amazing.
And you got Mitch Kenny that has a great combination with those guys, and defensively. We're lucky, I think, as an Australian side to have, so many guys in those positions,
Are you selector as assistant coach, or how does that work?
I think the selector's coach.
Yep.
I think maybe Joey.
Right.
Lockie.
Yeah.
And there might be some other guys.
So it's a panel, is that how it works?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they would sit down. I'm pretty sure they might have a meeting every week to talk about guys. So now the Dogs are out. Do we put somebody else in on the train-on squad? And then they got the Prime Minister's 13.
Right.
Straight after the grand final, so the week after. So there might be some guys that they'd like to give a run, you know, that haven't played for 4 or 5 weeks to see whether that they're up to it, and then they'll pick the Australian side out of that, like the 22, to go over there and look at him, not giving him too much.
Genuine utility is always, I think, Connor Watson in terms of that 9 position. So, like, because Australia are only taking 22, so you got your 17, so there might be 2 hookers in that.
Right.
And then for the 7 remaining players, can you maybe
5 if it's 22, isn't it?
Sorry,
or 6.
yeah,
18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
5. The
That's
5
maths.
remaining players. Yeah, maths is not a strong point on this show, is it? We've come unstuck a few times on that.
Yeah.
The 5 remaining players. I don't know if you can have another genuine hooker if you've got 2 in your 17. So
yeah, but you know how Queensland always carried that Ben Hunt. I think Tommy Dearden.
Dearden could play dummy half.
He can play that role where he'll play 6, 7, and he's robust enough to think can fill a slot. And then if you lose someone, you know, dare I say, well, that's, you know, there's always got to be a gamble when you can only take 5 reserves because there's 13 positions.
The fullback's interesting as well because Dylan Edwards yesterday was back to his best. He was back to his best.
It's just a timely little.
Here
Hello, just letting everyone. We love
Dylan,
Teddy, Walsh,
Walsh.
Put that in the blender.
Yeah.
Fair cocktail.
Good luck, England. Victor Radley's he's going to play, hopefully.
Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah,
the Aussies have tried their best to discredit him. And get him banned.
No.
But Sean Wayne said he's fit for me.
Fantastic. Speaking of
is
fullback,
Victor playing, is he?
Yeah, Oh well, for now, unless the NRL come over the top. I'm being serious.
Yeah, they could.
I'm being serious. The NRL could ban
so
him.
the Roosters have banned him for 10 games.
yes.
Yeah.
But
England haven't banned him for 10 games.
England have said he's available unless the NRL come over the top.
I wouldn't think that decision will be in time though, because the
they're waiting for
court's
the
already been
court.
pushed back 3 weeks, and then that's going to get probably adjourned further. So I wouldn't think they'll have a decision before then.
You pick him in your 22, then he gets banned.
Yeah.
An hour before kickoff.
Yeah,
But he's
and
already flown over there. And he's already
then
there.
everyone calls the NRL bottleless gets and gets in trouble.
Just before we talk about the Raiders game, Manly now looks like Tom Trbojevic. He's got a 2-year off from the table from Warrington, and he's heavily considering that. Basically, if you missed it over the weekend, a deal was agreed with Tom Trbojevic and Manly, 3 years, reported between 800 to 900 grand a year. It was agreed upon. Then the contract came over to Tom Trbojevic and his management, and it was about $100,000 a year less than they were expecting to get. And Tom's obviously cracked the shits, as anyone would.
Yeah.
And it looks like he now may even be leaving Manly.
Well, you can see why he'd be upset if you agree and you shake hands and you come to terms, and then
That's the deal, isn't it?
That's the deal, and then the offer comes through, and it's short. I mean, why are Manly doing this to themselves?
Well, whoever did that, right? So their affairs are so poor, right? So let's just go back to the DCE situation. It got played out in the media. Who does that help? No one.
Yeah.
I promise you, no one. Didn't help the team, didn't help DCE, doesn't help the club. Well, you think you would have learned, and they're bumbling over this, right? You've got arguably, other than like Steve Menzies, like there's so many heroes there, but you think Beaver would be one of those guys that's just everybody loves him. And then you got Tom Trbojevic that a couple of years ago said, I'll give you back some money. That's what that's the feelings he has for the club. So whoever sat down in that meeting, they go, yep, and it goes somewhere else. And they go, no, why wasn't that guy in the meeting if he had the overriding call?
And why wouldn't you communicate this? You try and send, because it's my understanding it's been sent through, and sort of just, let's see if he notices. Like sent through, and the numbers are different, and then there's been a cause that, no, it's been revised. It's not how you do business, man.
I think
it's not how you treat people.
Also, when you saw...
Listen, my kid's in prep, right? Little Billy. Shout out. Learning to read? Not, but he knows numbers. He can walk in and know the footy that's 28 points. So we
future businessman Billy Tallis.
No, but they know numbers, right?
Yeah.
So I know what you were saying. Like, how do you not notice a number?
Yeah. Well,
there's not that many zeros on it where we're going to be confused, right?
You'd think Manly would have learnt so much about the PR disaster that was.
It's got a 1
at DCE.
It's got a 1 to 9 in front of it, and maybe a 5 in it as well.
And I mean, we can sort of speculate, but I wonder maybe. Obviously, the decision makers are not aligned, that they're not communicating correctly with one another for this to end up in this situation. But I maybe wonder, and even talks of, Willie Peters coming to the club with a view of taking over from Seabold. Has he had something to do about this, and like him not viewing him as the fullback? The implications
you could
on
not
Cooler.
manage. You couldn't even fathom a coach coming and go, "No, let's Tommy go."
No, well, not maybe not let him go, because it's one of those, Gordie, for me. The around about 900 mark, if he's going to play fullback, bargain.
Yep.
But if he's going to play in the centres, that's when you start to go, oh, geez, it's a lot of money.
But I disagree.
For a centre.
No, I disagree. We don't pigeonhole players in positions and money, because that's what the managers want to do. Oh, this is fullback money. No, it's not fullback money. You get it because of what you do on the field. And when Tom played in the centres, he's got man of the match.
Yeah.
He can have an influence. Like Ellery Hanley, right? So if I go back to when I played, Ellery Hanley could play lock or centre, or and he had the same impact on the game. Wally Lewis could play lock or 5'8", have the same influence, right? And you see these people, I reckon if Cleary had 7 or 6 or whatever, he could have that influence. Because we're forcing kids to pick a position instead of just being the best player you can be, and you'll slot into that team, and they've got ego. So you saw Lomax, mate, I'm a centre, because it's more money.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You are, mate, he was the best winger in the game.
Yeah.
When at the Dragons, they were down the bottom. He went to Parramatta. He played New South Wales. He's been outstanding on the wing. But you get more money because you're a centre. We got to stop doing that.
I wonder when that first happened.
I don't know. Oh, mate, we don't pay front rowers over that. But if I play back row, I get more.
Yeah, Wayne Bennett he had a rule around front rows and a certain price. I remember that.
I get in trouble for this, right? Because I go against Wayne. I don't. Lazo would have been one of the highest paid players at the Broncos. It would have been him and Elf. So you know how I don't pay players, but that was back in '92. Lazo was on 200 grand. Like in today's, like before, like that's big money or whatever it was. Mate, that was huge money.
Even Mark Nwangani Tuase, like.
Oh, mate, it's only winger money.
Yeah,
he got signed as a centre, so he's currently on centre money. That's what they say.
No, he's on Mark Nwangani Tuase.
Yeah, well, he's got to get Mark Nwangani Tuase money, which means you make him.
You've got to change it now, right?
Yeah.
We cannot keep on saying that position.
It's funny you say that, because we had Matt Cameron in. He's part of the round table this year as well, which is awesome. But with Penrith, they actually have really hard and fast rules around positions.
Good on them.
No, isn't it on their starting 13?
No, they're positions.
Hey,
so they've got a winger. They've got what they'll pay a winger. They've got what they can pay their starting.
Because they've got
two wingers together.
Because they got 9,000 juniors.
Yeah.
And they've lost 17. And we heard them talk yesterday. They've lost 17 players that have played in the grand final. That's a pretty fair roster out there playing. But they've got 17 new kids that are probably going to play in a grand final, or could play in a grand final. So when you talk about Penrith, go talk about Melbourne. They got a totally different model, and they need a totally different model to the Roosters, to Brisbane, to Cowboys, to the Dolphins, right? So that system works for Penrith, but I'm just over a kid getting pigeonholed because of what position he plays. And what it's doing is, when I go and I watch a lot of junior footy, is it drives kids to want to wear number 1. Where 7 and 6 are always been the best positions in our game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they go, fullback, but
the more I think about it as well, I think, you know what, a lot of fans may look at it and go, they're getting paid for what they do on the field. But for me, Turbo gets a significant amount of his money is for what he does away from the field. I'm talking about in the dressing room, in the community.
But
for Manly
Kennedy,
as well.
No, he plays fullback at the Sharks. He's got to be on Tedesco money. Oh, he's got to be.
Yeah. Obviously he's not, is he? Yeah.
Hey?
But
why not?
Because he's not the...
but Drinkwater should be on Tedesco money then. Because that's fullback money.
Yeah.
Why
elite
isn't he?
star fullback.
No, yeah. So
but I think that
we've got it mixed up.
But just thinking about the Turbo thing, you're right in what you're saying, what he can do on the field, but also like the leadership around the club, around the community, what he's bringing to that organisation.
Yeah, you got it.
You know, like a lot of big name players, like they get paid for the leadership in the dressing room, how they rub off on others as well. So that and there is a price to be paid for that. Or there's a value to that, not a price to be paid, a value.
The numbers, though, like 3 years, $2.5 million, what the fee was, that seems like a pretty good price there for Turbo, doesn't it? Like 830 grand a year, roughly, that is. Like
That's not too bad.
Especially when you think the cap is going to
go up.
Increase.
And he could, like, obviously Tom's not really played more than 20 games for many seasons. But, like, if he can stay fit, he's one of the best players in the game.
No Tommy, no trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially next year, losing the experience that they have at 7. And you know what? It's simple. Walk into the change room, see how popular the guy is, and see who wants to play with him.
He's also got his 2 brothers there, which
absolutely. And Tommy just needs a rest, or something's not happening with his training. Go over to America. Go find a specialist that goes, this is what it is.
Yeah. I think for Tom Trbojevic, this has made him feel like just because he's not happy with a lot of the stuff happening in the club anyway. So then this is like, and he's sort of a bit confused by how the club's being managed and where things are going. So then for this to happen, it's like another little nail in the coffin for him. It's like, all right, they can't even handle this. This is so simple. Yeah. Even the simple things are hard.
It's not a nail for him. It'll be a nail for Manly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not a nail for him. Because Tom can go anywhere in the world.
It's a shame that he doesn't want to stay in Australia though. Like, like that just shows
he
how
doesn't
loyal
want
he
to
is.
play against
I know,
Manly.
but that's such a waste if he goes to England. Like, you got to keep him here.
You're not talking to me. Go talk to Manly. I'm going to get you there today. Let's
Mate, it'd be huge if he goes over to the Super League. It'd be
massive,
massive. Obviously, I think Warrington will be in the mix. London Broncos just being taken over by Darren Lockyer with a view of going into Super League. The law of living in London for someone like Tommy Trbojevic.
Let's just say something. Darren Lockyer's manager is Tom Trebojevic's manager.
Ooh. Well, there'd be something there. Maybe he'll go on that tour, get a bit of a taste for life in London, and have a little look around. Maybe he's so distracted by visiting places in London, he forgets his boots to turn up and has a shocker at Wembley.
He won't.
Where would he live in London?
Will get Tom.
Where would he live in London? Is it Clapham? Clapham's where all the Aussies live in London, isn't it?
That brilliant. I know. I want to travel halfway around the world, experience a different culture. I know. Let's live where all the other Aussies live.
Yeah, Clapham,
let's go to the walkabout. Yay! Come on, like Aussies do better than that.
Hold on, you go to every English and Irish pub when we go out. You go back to your little culture. You don't walk into an Aussie, look at him, and then you drink. I don't like that.
You should have seen here.
English breakfast tea. You don't have bushy. You don't have any Aussie tea.
Mate, do you remember when we were in Canberra?
Yeah, look at you, Jimmy. He just got shut down.
Do you remember in Canberra, Josh Hodgson was there, and did you go, oh, you want to come in, lad, you come in? It's like you've never seen a happier man seeing English.
I know. So listen, so when we go to the UK and we go to Covent Garden and we walk around and we see all the expats and we want to say g'day to them because they're missing a bit of Aussie culture and they've been stuck over there in your country, it'll be cool to hang around a few Aussies.
Yeah, let's go and get a snitty and chips together. No, have some fish and chips. Have some fish and chips
with some mushy peas.
And it's they're not called schnitzels over in England. We've got long memories.
What do you call them then?
Just
chicken nuggets.
Big
nugget.
Chicken. No, what do they call? Not chicken Kiev. What would they call it?
Chicken Kiev's something different.
Yeah. What do they call a chicken schnitzel?
Deep fried chicken.
If you went to a German restaurant, they call it chicken schnitzel, but anything else, it'd just be like
battered chicken.
Don't know what they.
Are you talking at your ass right now?
You think it might just be crumb chicken?
Crumb chicken. Yeah, crumb chicken. Yeah, definitely wouldn't.
Like with crumbs on it.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't be called a chicken schnitzel. Tony's hard at work here in the background.
And you know what, right? And you know what? I've been.
It's a tough thing to Google though. What do you call it?
20 weeks, mate. I've probably spent 20 weeks in the UK. I've never had fish and chips.
Really?
No,
never had fish and chips in your whole life?
No, because we get it in North Queensland. We get better fish. So we got proper reef fish. What do you have over there? Anyway?
Cod, haddock.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
amazing. Out of the rivers, the muddy rivers.
Well, over here, mate, it's shark.
Out of the channel.
You get shark.
No.
You do. It's flake is shark. It's flake is shark.
Mate,
is it?
Yes.
A bit like your suntan, flake.
Yeah. No, we get proper cod from the North Atlantic.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Black cod. Patagonian toothfish.
Don't know.
Yeah.
It's mate, bit of mushy peas, bit of gravy.
I tell you what you
bit
do.
Bit of salt, white death,
bit
of
vinegar.
vinegar.
I'm looking forward to because it's going to be cold. You go to any of the pubs, lad, and they do a great pie.
Great pies.
They do. Like every single day, I had to go and have and like for lunch, I'd have a pie. And they're good. big chunks of meat. That's one thing that you do.
When you come to Liverpool,
well.
and
I'll get a pie floater.
Scouse, a bit of scouse. That's
What's that?
It's a traditional dish. Basically it's meat, potatoes, gravy, bit of veg, and crust on top. Bit of red cabbage with it as well. Always goes down well.
Meat and 2 veg.
Just a roast dinner. Is that what you're saying? It's more.
It's like slow cooked.
It's more elegant.
Yeah,
it's more elegant.
No, God, no. It's just.
I tell you what,
it's poor people's food. Scouse is poor people.
Is haggis and black pudding, is that the same?
Haggis is Scottish, isn't
Haggis is Scottish. I think that's sheep's stomach.
Yeah. And black pudding.
Black pudding. Mate,
I've never had that.
Mate, do yourself a favour.
Don't have
sausage. Bacon, egg, black pudding sandwich, bit of Tommy sauce. Boom. Change your life. Mate, black pudding. It's basically just a sausage.
It's feral. Black pudding is feral.
It's a sausage. Black pudding is basically a sausage.
Well, why don't you call it a sausage?
I don't know.
What do you call those things? The Yorkshire
pudding.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, they're so overrated. It's just like batter, isn't it? Batter with gravy.
Yeah, it depends.
So overrated. You know what's also funny about England? You know Foster's the beer.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get it here in Australia.
You can.
No, you can't. Like,
I was in a BWS the other day. And
okay, brilliant. But like most of the time, you can't get Foster's at any pub.
You wouldn't see it on tap.
You wouldn't see it on tap anyway. You go to England, it's on tap everywhere.
It's marketing, mate. Yeah. It's just marketing.
Yeah, mate, but don't worry, mate. We probably got something in our supermarkets or in our bars that they don't have.
Well, it is just pure marketing. It's marketed over there as being like the Aussie beer. Like, you wouldn't want a warm. Oh, the Aussies like the cold beer. You wouldn't want a warm beer, would you?
Good Guinness in England, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an Irish beer.
Yeah, just not far for it to travel.
Yeah,
they say it doesn't travel well, but I don't know.
Probably dribbling on a little bit. Let's do the instant classic.
Yes,
thanks to Classic. Some big things coming from Classic and us dropping next Monday. We've got one for you, Gordie, as well.
Can I run in the surprise?
Yeah, you can. You can run in the surprise. Yeah, you can. We've got one for you, Gordie, as well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. We're thinking of getting your name on it as well and everything.
No name, please.
No name, yeah. No name, no worries. Just in case you can resell it.
No, two things, right? Because not everybody likes, so then I can just hide every now and then and just wear it and fit in like a real English scouser.
Yeah. What would it take for you to wear it while you run the water for the Aussies?
Are you running the water, are you?
No, it's just... Mate, he's taking the piss. He's pigeonholed me.
What do you get? Because I saw...
mate, it's funny because Danny White
I saw that.
had a crack. I don't want to tell him that I'm tech savvy because I had to go at Buzz, but he believed it, the poor bugger.
Yeah. So you will be editing videos and getting on the
it's not
tools.
hard. Yeah. I do it all the time with my home footage and I got C-Bus. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. Control 4. It's all right. I
Control 4.
And all these other things.
Control C, Control Copy.
I would love for Gordon to be like the train that runs the water, and I'd just hammer it. I tell you what, these trainers, they're interfering a bit too much. They're always on. What are these messages he's passing on? What do they need to be? What's Gordie telling Nathan Cleary? What's he telling Cam Munster?
Oh yeah, but the trainers, mate, no one like my trainers. Gary Belcher, legend, intelligent player, the first passing fullback that I saw, hands, go down the short sides, 3-on-2, would carve us up at train and badge. I don't know how old he might have been, probably late 30s, 40. Unbelievable. Craig Bellamy was running the water to us. There's two pretty fair messages. And Kevy, towards my end of my career, was running on the water, and I probably don't remember one thing they told us. Yeah. And then players mate, we can sit there and go, that trainer, he got 5 weeks suspension. The players wouldn't know what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if there was an exam and you got like hundreds of thousands of dollars for everything a trainer said, there wouldn't be too many people passing.
No, there wouldn't. Right, yeah. But onto our instant classic. Yep. Speaking of which, the Cronulla Sharks upset victory against the Canberra Raiders. Geez, you got a feel for the Raiders, man. Like, I think back and I was pumping the game up, pumping their chances up, but you wonder if last or the previous Sunday was a bit too much for them, and that's where
it looks like it now.
Yeah,
It just looks like that there wasn't enough time to recover, and they'd had a great year, and it didn't help with Ethan Strange pulling out the day of the game because they did have a fair bit of footy too. Or they They had really high completions, the Raiders, which means they were getting through their set and they were hanging in there and they were tough, but just defensively, you know, they weren't in the positions where they were the week before. And, you know, if you look across their board, there may have been one or two blokes that played at the level they did the week before.
You said it before.
The petrol got taken.
Hudson Young, I think Starling, he matched that same intensity. It's just funny, you know, talk about that moment. Timoko kicks, 7-tackle set. I'm pretty sure that was the kickstarter from the Raiders having all that possession, all that dominance. Kicks it, concedes that 7-tackle set, and it just bang, Sharks. Because in the commentary on Fox, there was, I think Andrew Voss goes, that the Sharks will be relieved going into half time, and it's only 6-0. And I was sat on the lounge going like, well, yeah, you're right. And then bang, bang. Felt like a blink of an eye. It was like, hang on, they're not going in 6-0 down. They're going in 12-6 up. Like, and it just came from, I think the catalyst from it was the Timoko 7-tackle set from memory. Credit to Sharks left edge, Nico Hines, that brave play, run on last against the grain, an angle that is usually a front rower, an edge back rower, hard against the grain on last, put his body on the line after all the pressure that he's been under. He threw that cut out pass.
Right? So that's just breaking the structure.
Yeah.
They're weak here. Don't worry about our plan. This is where we're going. This is the best situation we've got now. That was really quick between the ears, and that's the way, you know, the Sharks, and not too many players can think outside that, but that was perfect. That was a great try.
I wonder if, like, the Sharks have been clear. They feel as though they've been disrespected.
But they haven't been.
Well, or have they painted that as like no one's talking them up? But probably people were right not to talk them up. Like, the talk about the Sharks before the finals kicked off, unfortunately for them, is a game shouldn't be at Shark Park. So that distracts from, hey, have the Sharks got a chance? We weren't looking at the Sharks form line because we were busy talking about whether or not the Sharks should be playing their game at home or Allianz at a core, wherever. And that maybe distracts a little bit from their ability to perform.
Yeah. No, look, they haven't won at the business end of the year, and they don't have the greatest record against top 8 sides. They can prove us all wrong, and I hope they do, and I like the way they're motivating themselves. But if you look at the stats, and that's all we got to lean on, right? You've won one grand final, so that's all we get to lean on. You get Penrith that are coming last, they get there and just have so you can only go on what you see, and what they did the other night was perfect. They went and they beat Raiders. They went down there and come home with the cookie. So right now, the Sharks, they would love their chances, and I'd give them a chance against Melbourne. But 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have given them a chance against Melbourne. But now they've proven us wrong. They've won their last two. They've won them convincingly. And now they'd be full of confidence coming against the Melbourne that has a few guys that are a bit iffy.
Defence is the key for the Sharks, but I think they're going to have
They've been good defensively.
They're going to have to improve their ball control to beat Melbourne. I don't think they can give as much ball on in the red zone to Melbourne as what they've been given, what they give Canberra.
Well, that's what they were saying in the sheds after the game, was that we didn't even play well.
Yeah.
And we got that win. Like, if we can play well,
they're going to have to play better.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know, they can play a lot better, because, like, you're right, they had, I think, like 10 errors or something. They had a lot of, like, penalties, a lot of ill-disciplined players. Toby Rudolph had a couple of penalties early on and a drop ball. If they play like that against Melbourne, like, it's not going to go well for them.
And their forward packs, it's underrated.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of go forward that they have and the work that they get through, it's actually sort of under the radar. Like, they'd be a hard pack to beat, you know, because they actually get through a lot of work and they do it well.
Their bench
comes on. And, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, then their whole structure, you know, like, mate, the way, you know, the energy, the bench come off, they make an impact. It doesn't seem to lose momentum. They're always they're never stuck at a making meters, you know, and it was visible yesterday that the Dogs struggled to make meters. They probably would have loved the Sharks go for it. I think they make it.
I think Fanua Blake can trouble Melbourne's defensive structure as well.
Late footwork.
With his late footwork, big body, find the floor, then Brayley goes. Yeah. Who's been such a feature of their attack. Like, he was sensational on the weekend, and I think he he relishes his playing with that type of player that can just bounce.
You can only win at a dummy half of that if you're winning the run.
Exactly.
And they're winning the run.
Yeah.
The chip on their shoulder is real, though, and I think it's fair as well, because they were underdogs for week 1, underdogs for week 2. They're like $2.70 to win this third game. And even...
That's not the media. That's the people punting on them.
No, but it's also... But people punt. A lot of people punt based on the media's opinion, and a lot of people make decisions based on what other experts are saying.
Don't listen to it.
They don't have to, but people
it's your
do.
Money, make your own.
But that's where Cronulla are coming from, and even Cronulla, like I know that some of their players and stuff, they felt like if we did what Canberra did, the story wouldn't be about how bright Canberra's future is. It would be about how disappointing were we. We could funnel down straight sets.
Yeah, and that's because it's hard to see vast improvement in the Sharks. Where you can see Canberra, new kids on the block. You could argue the same, not too dissimilar about the Dogs. Relatively new kids on the blocks when it comes to being in finals. Canberra, new kids on the block when it comes to top 4. So, but with the Sharks, they've been in and around this playoff scene, top 4 thing.
No one
for
thought they
a while.
weren't going to make the 8. The Sharks.
Yeah,
everybody thought getting named for Noel Blake. They're stronger in the middle, right? They haven't lost anybody, so that's. Stability in the organisation. You think they're going to finish where they did last year. So from 6 up or whatever, people had them.
Yeah.
Right?
But
the Raiders, no one had them in the top 8. From 12th to 8 or something.
But then, because they were up like 28-12 with 15 to go week 1, you'd be pretty shattered if you were a Raiders fan.
Oh, absolutely. They've fought off the canvas. They've fought off the ropes. They've won by knockout. They've had an amazing year, and that'll be a game. If you talk about Brisbane's hangover, they should have won that 40-12.
Yeah,
they stopped playing. There'd be the last 25 minutes of that, the Reece Walsh sin binning with Carrigan, the 25 plays in 15 minutes where the Hudson Youngs had a lay in a line going across where they kicked it. Fogarty, if he would have kicked that goal, they would have went up to 28 or 30, whatever it was. So there was points that they left out there. I reckon they'd be ruining that.
Yeah, look, I think this weekend for the two clubs that are out, and even you could argue a little bit about the Roosters perhaps as well. Like you go away, you watch these games, and if you're not playing in these games and you've been part of the final series, you can, and maybe even the Warriors would dare to dream a little bit about, that should be us. This should be us today. And I think that feeling will be felt the strongest in the nation's capital with those Raiders players. They'll see that game on Sunday, and they'll just be like, they will not be able to escape the thought of that game should be here at GIO Stadium, not at Suncorp. It should be here. It should be here. And the Dogs will feel a bit, maybe if we'd have got Melbourne, but we were beaten by this champion side.
Yeah, injuries, but
that strong feeling, which is, and it's important how Ricky Stewart sort of manages the fallout, because obviously the players will be in this week, but it'd be interesting to see how he tries to bottle that feeling of jealousy, enviousness, shoulda, woulda, coulda. So
get
close.
Together and watch it.
I think.
Get together and watch it and talk about it. If you're in town, let's get together. Let's have a few beers. Let's have a barbecue. Bring your kids. Let's all stand there and watch it and talk about it. And get it off your chest there and then, instead of sitting by yourself.
Yeah, stewing over it. Yeah.
Because I think that happened to us in '99. We watched the grand final. We were all up in Darwin on a trip away, and we just went to this bar, and they locked us around the back, and we sat there and watched it. And when Melbourne won, you could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah.
There would have been a pin drop going. Why weren't we there?
Yeah.
And it's that moment, but we were all together and just watching everybody's reaction. That was the moment. So everybody was on the same boat. Wasn't someone go, how good that is, and celebrating their win, or I'm glad it wasn't this or that. We just all sat there and we dropped our heads probably at the same time,
Yeah, it's an important one.
Fogarty leaves, obviously.
Yeah.
So the thing that's come out today is they're trying to pull off a loan deal with Jonah Pez at Canberra.
Wow.
So they're trying to bring him in for a year. Obviously, he's a free agent, as you know, Gordie.
Yeah. There's a few clubs going for Jonah.
Yeah. Because he basically, because of the Hughes clause, now he's re-signed, he can go as soon as this year coming, can't he?
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
So I think in the deal, and I've heard it just spoken about sometimes on 360. I think that if Hughes re-signed, he's free to go.
Yeah. So Canberra's one team. The Titans are another team as well.
Oh, mate, there'd be a lot
The
of
Dragons would be in for him.
And I think it's this loan deal for a year or 2 years, because there's obviously talk that mainly it's a year because there's talk Munster might go to Perth for 27.
Yeah. Well,
be interesting to see what Ethan Sanders thinks of this, because it's my understanding that
if Peasant goes, they won't let Munster go. You wouldn't think.
No. Yeah, if he's only going for a 1 year loan deal, though, then they'd maybe be bringing back. But then Hughes and Pez are both sevens as well.
Why wouldn't a club go, we'll give you 3?
Yeah, well, they could.
Like even $1 million a year maybe for someone like Pez.
Yeah, I'll just develop my own young kid. Why don't we just go, mate, why don't you do a 3-year deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Look, you don't know, and I don't know all the information, but that would be something that you'd look at. If you're a club, you don't want him for 1. I know it worked with Harry Grant, but that was, you know.
And it didn't work. I don't know if Melbourne would give him to Canberra.
Yeah.
Like, they're a contender. Do you know what I mean? Like, Melbourne,
but I don't think Melbourne,
Grant.
From what I understand, Melbourne don't have that choice. He's a free agent.
So or they could.
But then they're saying, hey, what about we send you out for a year and you come back?
And we'll get Munster or go. Yeah. But I don't think Melbourne, respectfully, they allowed Harry Grant to go to the Tigers because it was the Tigers. They weren't a threat to their premiership aspirations. I think Canberra now are making a name for themselves. If you put Jonah Pezzett in that team, again, based off reputation that's been built in the media, but with his performance against the Dogs.
Should they have signed Pezzett and let Hughes go, the older man?
You know what,
and then you've
Gordie,
got a young kid learning from Munster.
This is where I go.
Coming through, same agent. He's not going to split them up. You would think.
I've got, no personal relationship with Melbourne, but it's a club whose judgment call I trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's one of them. It's like, oh, maybe I get it, but that's a club.
No, but that's just me saying.
Yeah, like, I know what you're saying.
Because it's Melbourne, no one says it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Panisi and Bellamy,
but it doesn't mean that they get them all right.
No, they don't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and then you look at it and you go, well, after giving the kid a couple of goes, it looks like that he can play a bit. Then Munster, he goes, well, then Perth's coming, and that's being the big dog, because Perth can probably go for whoever they want, right? They could go for Cleary, they can do that, but they've isolated Munster, Oh, well, does that change it?
Ethan Strange was a big loss as well for them. Huge. I mean, just so people know, I was staying at the same hotel as his sister, Jasmine Strange, and there was a group of us having a few drinks and stuff, and she was explaining the situation, but basically his resting heart rate was at around 120, and if you exercise at that level or play sport at that level, you can have a heart attack. So that's why he didn't play. So it was quite serious. He was vomiting blood.
I was in a commentary box with someone that was a bit higher than that yesterday.
Especially around the end of the second set.
Calling a game of footy. A little bit. Yeah, no, look, that's the right decision. And some commentary, I think some people are saying that he should have played or shouldn't have played. No, he made the right decision. If you're going to let your teammates down in those moments, that's the decision you make. It's not a selfish one. It's actually the team. I can't give them what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Nice. Well, then schedule, boys. That's probably the last thing to get to. Is obviously we've got. To be fair, I find this the most boring story ever. I couldn't give two shits about it. But there's the Friday prelim and the Sunday prelim. An extra 2 days for the team.
It's not even full. Listen, it's not even 2 full days.
I think we're overthinking it.
Yeah,
like I really do. For 100 years, like I don't even know whether we've had first past the post. I don't think we've had. Maybe in the early part of the NRL or New South Wales Rugby League, it might have been first to pass the post, but it's not in mine. There's always been a grand final. It's been played. When it's a draw, there was a replay where we got rid of that. But let's just play it. And if someone gets injured or if someone gets suspended, they don't play.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we look back at the history of the game, like Changalanglan's got, he had a nerve and he hit the wrong nerve, which he lost his power. So for our game, that's it. It's the fittest and strongest survive. And that's the sport that we love. Like, I wouldn't be tinkering giving it 11 days in case someone gets it. That's the luck of the draw.
Yeah. And I guess an extra 42 hours recovery. There's not an injury out there that exists that one player makes it, the other player doesn't. It just, it's fractionally advantageous. You know what? sometimes as well, too much time to think about it. It's not necessarily
it's momentum.
Good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, then someone I love the momentum when I'm playing. I don't know the young guys. I'm pretty sure they'd like the momentum. That a day off and you got to fill in that time. You just want to get it over and done with. Like the game day, you want to kick off as quick as you can.
And talk of delaying the grand final for another week in order to eradicate things like a medical suspension of a HIA. I mean, that's just unfortunate. And you got to treat a concussion the same way you treat any other injury. If you miss a week, you miss a week. And look, it's complex. Look, I've been there myself. Where
didn't you guys miss it from COVID? Miss games like.
Yeah, well, people.
Do we forget that?
Yeah, exactly. People miss games from COVID. Was no delay in the game then. I think back like how far the game's come. In 2018, the Dragons' first year in playoffs in a long, long time. I get knocked out cold against Brisbane on the Sunday. I played the Saturday against Souths, and and I was gone. This was like Cat 1, no questions asked. You know, it was on me really to make the call, and I look back and I think, should I have played?
Did you feel normal all through the week? Sorry, that's a real difficult question for you, Jimmy.
You might know what does normal
Do you ever
mean?
feel normal, Jimmy?
No. Look. Should I have played? Probably not. No. But
who's going to stop you from playing?
Me. Yeah, me. And it probably would. But
that was the rules back then.
Yeah, that was the
rules.
Mate,
how you feeling? You went, I'm fine.
I'm playing. Look, I think the question was asked, and I'm playing.
And you would have stayed out of the collision all week.
Just exactly.
And went through stuff a bit, a bit on the side.
It was different then. The rules of engagement were different. The protocols were different. I was by the letter of the law, I was okay to play.
Yeah.
Should I? But again, like it just was what it was. But I guess this is where.
Okay, well, would you like the rules? Because you've been strong on this. Would you like the rules where we put a 2 week? So if someone does get a HIA in the semi-finals, they play the grand final. And how is that fair in week 1 of the finals to week 2 of the finals?
Well, I've said this
14 days
around concussion. I've always said honesty is the best policy, and people will instantly look for the clear-cut Cat ones and say, "Oh, they're going to miss for 11 days." But here's my thing: if you get a Cat 2, right?
You should be allowed to play.
Well, you get a Cat 2. That's where you get removed from the field, and then you go for a HIA, where you need to be honest, right?
Yep.
And the players know this, that if they give certain answers to the questions, they automatically fail, which means they'll miss the next week. There is not a player that will leave the field for a Cat 2 this weekend that will fail a HIA. Now, it does happen in week-to-week football because the consequences of missing the week aren't quite the same. And this is where this...
I reckon it probably still happens at training.
It will happen at training.
I reckon this is where this training and they go, no one saw it, it's our video.
Well, this is where the danger comes in around the medical suspensions, because if you do get a knock, you need to be honest with the doctor without the pressure of knowing I'm going to miss next week. So for me, the danger isn't necessarily the clear-cut ones, because I think there's a culture now where that'd be I think maybe be accepted by the public, the players, the NRL, where it's like, okay, we'll treat concussions seriously. But the danger is the Cat 2s, that when they go for the test, they won't fail them. Because you know what, instantly when you get asked the question...
But you shouldn't want to fail them anyway.
Well, but you'd want to be honest, Gordie. So if the
doc... You wouldn't fail a hamstring test.
No, but...
You want to beat it.
But if the doc comes to you, say I've been involved in a Cat 2, the doc comes like, how are you feeling? Well, I've got this pressure to say I'm okay. Well, then... Because if I don't say I'm okay...
Well, there's got to be someone smarter than us
I'm failed.
That does a test where... They put something on.
This is where they're hopefully going to get to.
Yeah, perfect.
But until that day, I'm not worried about the Cat 1s. I'm worried about the Cat 2s.
They got the mouth guards now. What's that I've seen in the Rugby Union Female World Cup where they've got...
So it's actually, there's a good podcast on Science of Sport. They spoke about this. So basically that is measures the G-force. It's not indicating a concussion. If the G-force goes above a certain threshold, it goes to a system. 13 red, they need to be removed. So it'll go off 13 red through the mouthguard system, and the chips in the mouthguard, it's mandatory to wear. That alerts the computer that the G-force has gone through. They need to be removed for a test.
That seems a bit crazy, though. What if you just get hit in the chest and it just rocks you?
But what they're saying is this threshold, it's a threshold, which makes it likely.
Right.
What it does is that threshold is reached, you have to be tested.
Right. Okay.
Which is a very high threshold, but that's not a failure or a pass. It's just you need to be removed.
The G-forces don't go up in the jet.
But it's very murky water. Let's hope it doesn't come to this. A person like Hazelton, like, can you imagine that happens? And
Cat 1, clear.
Well,
Cat
he
1.
was clear Cat 1, so there's no, but then you think back to kick out week 1 of finals. Like, for me, I was surprised that was a Cat 2. It was the eye. Look, it's murky waters, but I understand. I think maybe for grand finals we need to revisit the 11-day stand-down period.
Yeah, but they won't legally be able to do that then. Because,
you can't.
Yeah,
so
you
then
can't.
You look at week 1 of the finals, week 2. So you can't say the grand finals more important, because if you finish 3rd or 4th or 5th, or go ask Penrith, week 1 of the finals, sorry, mate. So then where do you start it? The last round. But if we would have won the last round, we make the finals. So where does that stop?
It's muddy waters.
Is it not just like bad luck? You got knocked out, you miss out. Like saying bad luck, you did a handy
like Cameron Smith, right?
Yeah.
Robbed Manly of a Manly beat them 40-0, but robbed Melbourne of any chance, right?
Yeah.
And if you look back at those 2 incidents, give me a break. I think he did one. I think both of them were on Brisbane. One was in round whatever, and then the last one was on Sam Thaiday. And Sam, I don't want to say he overacted, but he might have acted it because it was Cam to get a penalty, and it looked worse than what it was.
Well, maybe, Charlie, this is a sign of where the sporting culture is going, where it is now just accepted that I can't play because of a head knock. And just the same way I couldn't play is if I did my medial ligament, cruciate, like it is what it is. Like Michael Innes missed the grand final through being injured. He got injured in the semi. It was a really bad ankle sprain from memory. Like, we can't wait for him to get back. You treat the head injury the same as you treat an injury like that, and maybe that's a positive thing.
But then 9-day, 7-day turnaround, it's the same for you. Doesn't matter.
For me, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Great to see you both, boys.
Likewise, Chica.
It's been a good weekend. Finals for you. A lot of travelling this year for finals. I feel a bit worn out on Monday. I've gone to Canberra. If you could edit the video for this, that'd be great. Yeah, Tony would love that, I'm sure.
There's not many edit points, actually, which is always handy.
Yeah.
Oh, a few
swear words.
Swear words. I mean, the T word.
Well, hey,
the T
when
word.
you've got the Hyundai beep it out.
Yeah.
Genius.
Sounds good.
Genius, yeah. Genius.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you later in the week.